Hello, guys. This is Jerry Learns Business, and I've got a special guest. These are two Aussies, and they've been traveling. So, lockdown travelers, what's up?
Woo!
Hey guys.
What's up, brother?
Good to see you guys. What are your names, by the way?
I'm Jake.
I'm Tamara.
Okay, Jake and Tamara. Cool. Tamara, so you were the one I was emailing.
Yes, that was me. I do the technical side of things for the emails.
I see. Okay, so let's just get started with your story. How did you two meet?
Oh,
We met years ago.
Yeah.
Back in Australia, I suppose.
probably about 8 years ago now,
Yeah,
give or take.
yeah. Down in Sydney, Australia, and we ended up moving up through to the Gold Coast or near there, Tweed Heads kind of area, and just living 500 meters off probably the best surfing destination in Australia, Snapper Rocks.
Yeah, decided to travel the world 1 week before the pandemic closed down the world.
I see, and I assume you guys didn't realize there's going to be a pandemic, right?
Dude, we had jobs. We had jobs as tour guides in Thailand, and we were meant to be starting. Our start date was the 15th of March this year, 2020, and clearly the 18th of March, Thailand shut down.
Wow.
But we made it work.
Yeah.
Exactly. So are there a lot of Australians working? So before the pandemic, are there a lot of Australians working as tour guides in Thailand, or was this something really cool you guys landed?
Dude, it was like the dream job, you know. It was like I was a travel agent back in Australia, and she worked as a project coordinator for an infrastructure company, which I had to memorize because she kept yelling at me. But it was a dream job, man. We're going to be traveling from Pai down to Koh Samui, Koh Phi Phi. Yeah, living the dream.
Most of the other tour leaders are all from England. We did a tour the year before and loved it, so figured why not try a job with them.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, so once the lockdown hit, you guys were in Thailand, right? Tell me about that.
Well, actually, she was on a tour. She was down in she was Koh Phangan. Yeah, I was still in Bangkok. I was just about to leave for Koh Stock, which is about halfway down. It's a national park there. And basically the boss comes up and said, "Oh, look, you're doing really good, but the world's shutting down." You know, it's like so we can't really do much. So called Tamara and said, "Oh, how about we meet in Koh Samui and we try to ride out." You know, we thought maybe it might only last a month or 2 months. Nobody knew at that point. And
slowly watched everything close down, all the restaurants, all the bars, restrictions came in. Like it was still pretty lively the first month, but after that, everything closed and the world went crazy.
Really, like, except for the lockdowns, Thailand didn't change much. You know,
No.
It's still, because most of Thailand, beautiful beaches, great scenery, things to do, and people were still partying. They were still going around. Yeah.
We just got to have all the beaches to ourselves because all the other tourists went home.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I see. So you had all the beaches to yourself. You guys relaxed for a little bit. When did that impetus come to say, all right, well, we're here. Let's just travel?
Well, that's it. Like, it was like, we were sitting at Koh Samui, and there was a 3-month lockdown in Thailand where you couldn't travel between the provinces. And basically, we were like, well, let's start filming it. Like, let's just start filming it and start a YouTube channel and just keep traveling and keep going. Because we couldn't get back to Australia without being able to leave again. And Thailand was so cheap, you know, you may as well stay there.
As soon as domestic travel through Thailand opened up, we jumped on a boat, went over to the mainland, hired a car and started driving.
Yeah. We done what we call the Rona Roadie, the Thailand Rona Roadie, where we drove from the south to the north, the east to the west, and just experienced Thailand without tourists.
Wow. And tell me about that trip. How did you plan it? Was it spontaneous, or was it more like, okay, we got to hit up these spots?
Well, basically, we met people in each spot as well, and they had experience as a travel agent, so I knew most of the spots going through, but there were some spots that were just incredible that we ended up at, eh?
We had a list of destinations that we knew we wanted to go, but nothing was planned. No hotels were booked. Like, we'd drive to an area, find a pub, order a couple drinks and go, okay, where are we staying tonight? Like, So it was a lot of fun. And we found some places that we never knew existed, which was really cool.
If there was 10 days ahead of us, we probably planned about 7 of them, and 3 we left just to do whatever we found on the way.
I think that is one of the best pieces of advice for anyone traveling. Plan maybe 70 to 80% of it, but like have 2 to 20% to 30% was just very spontaneous. I like how you guys planned it.
Exactly. You find people plan it to the day and they're
Yeah,
missing out
that
on
just gets so stressful, man. If everything's planned by the second, dude, like it stresses the person planning, it stresses the people trying to, co-plan, it stresses the people trying to follow, man.
And if it's areas you've never been to before, like sometimes like in our heads, we're like, okay, we'll stay there 2 days. But we fall in love with the place, so we stay a week. Like, if you have a strict schedule, nope, you've only got those 2 days there. Like,
Yeah. Wow. Well, when did you guys decide to film it, or was it always something you guys were planning to do, to film it?
Dude, we didn't even have an Instagram profile before we left Australia. You know, we weren't those kind of people. So that was that moment in Samui where we were like, yep, all right, let's just start filming. Because we couldn't express to our family back home just how beautiful everything was.
Yeah.
We've travelled before, but you might travel for 2 weeks or 2 months and then go home and tell everyone about it. Whereas we didn't have a time we were going home. So we're like, oh, well, let's try and make a film and send it back to them.
we also wanted to promote the local businesses in Koh Samui because we saw them all shutting down, like places that we used to go to all the time. They're all shutting down. And we wanted to like show them off for when tourism did open again so people would go back there. And then like it just sprung from there, the lockdown travellers.
Yeah, we actually had a few friends in Koh Samui at several places that we wanted to try and represent their businesses. So that was a big leading factor behind it as well, and hotel stays and that kind of place. But more like Airbnbs that we've stayed at and our friends, and we're like, okay, let's try and get you guys out so that when travel does start again, people have you guys in their head.
Yeah.
But it is pretty sad watching them all. They haven't got much money, mate, and yeah, it's less now.
Between the people and all the animals there, like all the elephant sanctuaries and the monkeys, like without the tourists, they're just not being fed anymore.
They're just going hungry. Mm.
Wow. And I think that's a good little segue. How did you guys plan the budget / is budget even an issue? Because if it's very cheap to live in Thailand, maybe budget isn't an issue. So please tell me more about that.
Well, in Thailand, it wasn't an issue, but since we've left Thailand, we've had to budget a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
We obviously, during Thailand, we didn't stay at any of the 5-star fancy places because, we are backpackers traveling the world. But
basically, we had savings before we went, but then the Australian government allowed you to get 10,000 of your what we call superannuation out pension when you retired. So we just both got that out and said, oh, well, let's keep going.
Wow.
And 20 grand in Thailand is a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I understand that you guys are in Mexico now. Was it directly from Thailand, or did you go to a bunch of places before you guys ended up in Mexico?
Well, that's where the beauty of being a travel agent came into it. It's always better to break up flights instead of stopping over and going through, not only because you don't get the jet lag, but you don't have to wait in an airport for 12 hours or so.
Yeah.
So we flew into France, went through France, and then spent a week there, and then got a bus up to Amsterdam, spent another week in Amsterdam, and then got the flight from there through to Mexico City, yeah.
we left Thailand because the visa amnesty ended, and there was a whole process to apply to stay longer. So we just left, and then a few days after we left, they extended the amnesty.
Oh.
I know, right?
I mean, it's been awesome being able to see Paris, Amsterdam, and now Mexico, but still, we were like, oh, we could do more Thailand.
Yeah. Wow. I've got a friend right now. He's fighting in Thailand. So, he's going to be in Thailand for a while because it's like, I'm in Thailand. Okay, let's just get as many fights booked as I can. So he tried that too. It's like, I don't know when I can come back. So let's just stay here and do as much as I can.
That'd be a great experience for him as well. Fighting through Thailand, that'd be sick.
We did a couple Muay Thai classes when we were there. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet. Wow. Yeah. Training in Thailand, Muay Thai. Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, we drink and smoke too much to be able to bloody become any good at it, though.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of travel, right? You plan your own thing. You do it based on your personality.
Yeah.
And when in Rome, you got to try some Muay Thai in Thailand.
Yeah.
Just don't do it at midday like we did.
Oh, it's hot, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. And there's probably no air conditioning, right?
No, they're not when you're in the ring.
Yeah, no, it's all outside. Well, the ones we went to were outside, so.
But they have some pretty sick ones over there. Like they've got courses where you can go over for like 3 months and train full hard, like 6 days a week as a Muay Thai. Like pretty hectic regimes if you are really interested in it.
Yeah. Well, you'll come back a pretty good fighter after that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Wow. Okay, so tell me about Amsterdam. Tell me about Paris. How long do you stay in Amsterdam? How long do you stay in Paris?
We were in Paris for, I think, 5 days. 5 days in Paris and then 3 days in Amsterdam.
I think we're about a week in Amsterdam.
I don't remember. It was Amsterdam.
That's a good sign. If you don't remember because you had so much fun, that is great.
Yeah, we actually met up with some YouTubers we met there as well. So we did a bit of a collaboration with them. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But Paris, we went to the Eiffel Tower, and generally takes you 6 hours to get from when you get there to the very top.
Oh.
We got up to the top in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So 6 hours and then 20 minutes.
Like before Corona and then after Corona. So before Corona was 6 hours and it took us 20 minutes.
Oh, man. So now if I could book a ticket to Paris, it'd be the perfect time to see the Eiffel Tower.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like there was no one up there. It was just us, not busy.
And so many other things like the Louvre and like the Arc de Triomphe, and we went through the catacombs underneath with all the skulls and the like the tunnels where the resistance was through World War II and that. It was incredible.
You see all the like ropes lined up leading up to the Louvre where there'd be hundreds of people waiting. But no, we just walked straight on through to the front. Like, that's probably the best part about traveling during Corona is there's no one here. Like, it's really good.
Wow.
If you Google somewhere like Koh Phangan or Riley Beach or like obviously the Eiffel Tower, you're going to see, like if you went to 2019, you'd see millions of people everywhere. And then you'll just see empty beaches all throughout like Thailand, obviously Paris and France. Amsterdam.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But yeah, it's sick.
Wow. And how long do you plan to stay in Mexico?
Well, there's a 6-month visa, which is probably the main reason we came to Mexico.
Wow.
Because we was obviously from that Thailand when they cut it. We're like, oh, well, let's get somewhere we can stay for a while.
Yeah.
And with no quarantine and no testing on arrival, with 6-month visa, why not Mexico?
Wow, Mexico got no testing on arrival. That's awesome. So they're just a chill country. They're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Well, we also didn't get tested going into France or Amsterdam either.
Wow.
Like,
the rules are incredible. We've gone 4 different continents now in 2020, and the rules are such a, like in France, if you're under the age of 11, you don't have to wear a mask.
Oh, yeah.
In Mexico, like you don't have to do any kind of quarantine or anything like that, but you have to wear a mask. Amsterdam, like you only have to wear it on public transport. Thailand was only like in 7-Elevens and that kind of stuff. It's so different, man.
Wow.
It's really been an experience, like all the different laws in different ways. It's like, really?
We actually met a guy from Brazil who had to go to America, but when Mexico, mind you, is like the 4th highest corona or COVID cases in the world. And he had to fly through and quarantine in Mexico for 14 days from Brazil before he could go to America.
Oh.
But he didn't have to quarantine in the sense he had to stay in his hotel. He could go wherever he wanted.
He just had to be in Mexico. Like he couldn't go from Brazil.
Oh, so he's quarantining in a country, but not in a hotel. I see.
Yeah, he could go and do whatever he wanted.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is pretty funny.
Man, the rules are hectic.
Wow. Okay, so you got this kind of 6-month visa in Mexico. Where do you plan on going in Mexico right now? What's in the itinerary?
Well, we've just done Day of the Dead, which was like probably the best time to be in Mexico in my eyes. Yeah. But we went and saw the Island of the Dead Dolls, which is in Mexico.
La Isla de las Mujeres, right? Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we actually got a video out on that one the other week.
Creepy island.
And we're looking at heading down to Oaxaca, and we're looking at doing a circle, so going across to St. Cristobal, through to Tulum, Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Merida, and coming back through Tabasco into Mexico City. But once again, we have no idea.
Yeah. Dude, it sounds like you're going to have a lot of fun. And definitely check out Chichen Itza, too. That's the one place in Mexico that I've been to that I think like it really had a big memory to me. Chichen Itza.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll have to send that to
Yeah, I'll send that to you guys. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
It was like a religious Mayan place. So like that famous pyramid, the pyramid of Kukulkan, that's where it's in Chichen Itza.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, one of the most famous like Mayan pyramids in Mexico, it's in Chichen Itza. So yeah, I'll send you guys that.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can when you go to Cancun, you can take a bus from Cancun to Chichen Itza. It's about a 3 to 4 hour bus ride. But there's also now you're giving me the travel bug. There's a town right out. Dude, I should come join you guys. Exactly.
Come on, let's get down here.
That'd be kind of cool. So there's a town right outside of Chichen Itza that you could probably get a very cheap hotel or get Airbnbs there. So that way you can like stay around the area. You don't have to they give you like an hour in Chichen Itza right when you get there. That's what the tour groups do. And you can just chill in Chichen Itza for the whole day.
Man, I'll spend a couple of days there for sure.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And you'll love Tulum, man. Tulum has a beach, but it's like it's hard to get to Tulum, right? So you'll probably have to book some kind of travel to Tulum and then find some like hotel or local hostel or something and just chill on the beach of Tulum for a few days.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We want to do the pyramids in near Mexico City as well. You can get a hot air balloon over the pyramid, so we're looking at doing that too.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. I am so happy for you guys.
Bro, it's a hectic lineup.
I bet.
You should totally come to Mexico.
Dude, I mean, one of my good neighbors is going to Mexico, so there's 2 reasons now to join,
And no quarantine. So
no quarantine. I'm so impressed at Mexico, man. I love the DGAF attitude. That's what we have to adapt sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's been fantastic.
Yeah. Wow. So, okay, after Mexico, have you thought about it yet or not yet?
After Mexico is going to be a hop, skip, and a jump, I reckon, because as with everything, your savings eventually whittle down, right? So we're going to be looking at, there's a few options, but one of the interesting ones I think you'll like here is sailing through on a cargo ship. So, right, if we can get to Hawaii, we could sail through on a cargo ship through the South Pacific Islands like Fiji, Tahiti, Tonga. Man, that would be hectic if we could get onto that.
And the fare rates are probably very cheap, right, compared to like doing a cruise or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can also do the option where you work for them, but we can also do, say, videos for them as well and promotion, which could cut down the price.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's one, but another option is going up through the States, flying into Phoenix and doing a little road trip through Vegas, LA to San Fran, and then getting a flight from San Fran to Singapore, staying there for a bit, and then getting back to Australia. Even when we get back to Australia, we've got a great plan up where we're buying a van and we're going to do it up and we're going to travel all the way around Australia.
That is awesome.
Great paint down travelers on the side.
Yeah. You can come with that too if you want.
Yeah, that's true. I've been meaning to visit Australia, and I know one of my channels has a lot of Australian audience. So yeah, that's definitely a bucket list thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We'll show you around.
I will tell you, I like the go with the cargo. I like that first option because as much as a Phoenix is cool, and I live in LA and San Fran's cool, I think you're gonna really love Hawaii. So you can always come back to these big cities in like 2 years when the economy recovers. It'll probably be more fun then. But like don't come now to these cities. Yeah, we're all kind of like about to go boom boom.
Yeah.
The states aren't too high priority, only as a get through. We'll do that in the future when we can spend a year there and properly explore it and everything. But the cargo ship will be fun.
I'd like to RV or something around the States and spend a good year doing it.
Yeah. The other thing I thought about is Whistler, a very beautiful, scenic Canadian city with a lot of skiing and mountain biking and dirt biking and all that stuff. But Whistler, I think in a lot of British Columbia, there is in Canada, there's a lot of Aussies there. They're like because the Commonwealth, right? The UK Commonwealth, you guys are very close. So I know there's quite a few Aussies who just go to Whistler. They work, but they also freaking just hang out and ski and just like have fun there. So what I like how you guys think is you guys think, okay, how do I maintain this lifestyle and also don't run out of cash? Like that's something that deters a lot of people, one, from traveling, but when people do travel, it also makes them like, ooh, ooh, all right, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, especially out like Banff and that, I'd love to be skiing down the slopes. That's probably the main reason you find a lot of Aussies up there is because Australia's too hot, man. They haven't got snow down
Yeah,
there.
true.
I do really want to go to Canada. That's still closed at the moment, though, isn't it?
Oh, I'm not too sure. I think Canada's open, but it's just not financially for us. Like, the only reason we'd be going through America is to jump on a flight from San Fran.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I'd much rather do the cargo trip.
We also don't have any warm clothes.
Yeah. In that case, stick to
7 months
Hawaii.
in Thailand.
Yeah.
We got Thailand and Mexico clothes.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
froze
that's
for
good.
about a week in France before buying a jumper.
Oh, when we went to France, it was so cold. Like, I just had layers upon layers on.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Did you two grow up kind of traveling a lot? What was your family like?
Very different in that sense. Like my first trip was when I was 14 years old. I actually grew up in country New South Wales, so it's about there's 1,500 people within 15 kilometres of the town I lived in, 6 hours west of Sydney. And my first trip was Egypt for 3 months.
Wow.
Like the opposite end, I know, right? The opposite end of the world. And but,
When he was 14, he did that one.
yeah. Then went through like Philippines and I definitely travelled a lot.
He was spoiled.
Yeah.
I didn't leave the country until I was 23 was my first trip, and I went on a cruise. And then the second time was with Jake. We went to Bali.
Wow. Wow.
No, travel's definitely something like the ultimate thing I could ever think of is if you could get paid so that every day you turn up to work and your job is to travel, you've succeeded in life in my eyes. It's
I agree.
done.
I agree. I had kind of that dream because I have a big channel called Fight Commentary Breakdowns, right? So I thought maybe I could like travel, and then every place I travel, I would go and like visit martial arts dojos, film, and do stuff like that. But I kind of had to drop that idea because it's just a little risky. You get some hotheads in each dojo who might want to hurt you and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I actually did get hurt once. This guy like hurt me. So, I was like, okay, I got to find a better, more safe way of like trying to pay the bills and traveling.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, do you personally do martial arts?
Yeah, that's part of the reason I was late to this thing because one of the guys I was training with like fell on his head, so we had to make sure he was okay. He was a kid too, so we had to make sure he was okay, and he's okay. What people don't realize, and once you get a few injuries, you'll realize this about yourself, is that the human body is actually stronger than we think a lot of times. Yeah. So a lot of times when injuries stick to us, unless it's like you accidentally cut off your arm or something, that's bad, right? But like most injuries, it's more like the body's sensitive after it, and it like can't forget that area used to be hurt. So like it like gets too oversensitive, and you have to teach it, one, to be stronger. So you have to do all these exercises to balance it out. But two, you have to teach your mind to be like, oh yeah, I just got more nerves there now because it's more sensitive. It's nothing. Yeah. If it like aches or something, it's okay, right? So
well, you've hurt yourself. You've come back well in 2020. You done your neck and your knee, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, thanks. Yeah, thanks for you probably saw that video. Yeah, but yeah, I fixed my neck and my knee, and it's very empowering. There's so much to complain about this year, but yeah, my 2020, I said I'm gonna at least heal my neck, and as a bonus, I healed my knee too with the same physical therapist. So yeah, I learned a lot about the human body and how it's just, and actually I know why I was telling you guys this because the kid, he fell on his head, but he felt like neck, not nothing nerve, but like neck muscle pain. And I was telling him, well, I've been through that. I know exactly what's going on because the neck braces for impact when you fell, right? So it's like tense now. So you're like, oh, is my head damaged? It's like, no, it's just the neck, like it's tense. So you just have to learn all these exercises so your upper back stronger, your neck gets stronger. I mean, you don't have to have a neck like this, but you can have your neck stronger so that way it learns to tense up and then relax, and you don't get hurt. So I'll teach the kids some of that tomorrow. But
how you feeling now?
I was spending some time with him. I just I just want to make sure he's okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. I actually did 10 years of martial arts growing up. So if you come to Australia, you can go and film all my old dojos and everything.
That would be amazing. And tell them, I got a strong neck, but please don't hit me hard because I will be meaner now. I'm too nice sometimes. If they hit me too hard, I'll hit them back.
That's fair.
Yeah. Wow. So, this is a cultural thing I have to ask. From my experience interacting with Australians, now I probably have a biased sample because the Australians that come to America probably have the travel bug, right? But from my anecdotal evidence, it seems like Australia as a country seems to encourage its young people to kind of travel for a little bit, either before college or after college, if I'm not mistaken.
Man, I don't know if you guys have the same thing. We have a gap year, what they usually call it, and that's usually once you finish school and before you hit college or what we call university. Your parents always encourage you go to for a gap year, maybe go through backpacking through Europe or America or Asia. Yeah, it's strongly encouraged, I reckon, in Australia. Yeah.
I wish I were born Aussie, man. In America, it's like there's so much, I don't want to call it brainwashing, but there's so much like, oh, go to college, oh, this. College will solve all your problems. And no, real world experience solves all your problems, right?
Absolutely.
Neither of us went to college.
No.
Even better, man. I love hanging out with folks who kind of think outside the box, man. One of the worst things that happened to me was I went to college, and 4 years later, I was like, oh, I was actually really cool before college. And I had to, find myself again, find the pre-college Jerry. So, I went full circle, and, 4 years later, I'm like, oh, I should have just stayed how I was in high school. I mean, yes, I learned a lot, but still, my personality, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Oh, that's it, man. My gap year's gone for 14 years now.
Nice. Wow. Do you guys ever travel with other people? Or I mean, you said you met up with some YouTubers, but are you planning to get more people along the ride, or this is probably a question if you don't want to answer this, but you don't want to, but are you guys one day maybe potentially even going to have a kid and then be okay, let's travel with the kid? There's all these Instagram accounts of a family traveling in a van and stuff. And I've always wondered about that.
No kids coming. But we definitely do trips. My family wants to do a bit of travel, so they'll come on a trip. They wouldn't be permanent. They'd come for 2 weeks or something like that. If we meet people along the way, more than happy to travel with them.
The kids, what do they say with kids? It costs $18 million, $1 million for each year to raise them. Do you know the places I could go for that? I could travel the entire world for that.
Wow. I never even thought about that. But yeah, if you put a monetary quantity on how much it costs to raise a kid, I would say it's probably at least $250,000 in America. I mean, you're using Australian currency, but I would say it's probably at least $250,000. And it's probably if you really want to give the kid a good life, probably $500,000 to $1 million. Yeah, so you're probably right. It is $1 million. Wow, that's scary.
Yeah. It's also very restricting too. Right now, if we had a kid, they'd be there crying.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be in this video.
We actually see a lot of people traveling with kids, and you're like, hats off to them. Good on them, but bloody hell, I'd hate to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's definitely possible. It's just not us. Not what we want.
Exactly. And I think this is an interesting question too. How did you guys meet Jody? So for viewers that are watching, the guy who introduced me to these two was Jody, and I interviewed Jody on Fight Commentary Breakdowns. He's one of my first interview, might have been the first interview actually in 2016 or 2017. It was a pretty old interview.
Oh, really?
But how did you meet Jody?
Jody's fantastic. So we put out a a post on Facebook asking for bands with original music so we could use it on our YouTube channel. And he was one of the ones that reached out. So if you watch our...
Big shout out to JoJo and the Mazunk band. They are awesome.
And the latest Busman song, really cool. We've got a lot more coming with Jody and his band.
Yeah.
Wow.
What video did we have the Busman in?
The Mexican, the Day of the Dead video. So the one we went down to the Island of the Dolls. But they're looking at, they're trying to, I think they're doing it now, trying to do our Thailand theme song. So for traveling around Thailand, and we'll definitely use them a lot more.
Yeah, as soon as they get more songs out, they're sending them through and we're putting them on our videos.
Wow. That's exciting.
Love to them today too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I think you guys are thinking the right way about kind of music, because YouTube, of course, has a YouTube library. Facebook has a Facebook library, but of course, I think it's risky to take that stuff off YouTube, like to have that music on stuff. And I know you probably have to read the fine line of what the license is, but yeah, if you have like a band like Jody's band that use the video on whatever platform you upload, that is the best.
Well, we like think about it. Like, there's so much copyright behind using music, and even the music that is available doesn't mean it's any good.
Yeah.
Whereas if you could find somebody, you're killing two birds with one stone. You're promoting they're promoting you, and they're doing you a good job with the songs.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like our first few videos, they've got like just normal songs that we downloaded.
Because we had no idea, man.
Yeah, well, we didn't realise that we'd get a copyright claim. Like, we got Bliss and Esso and a few other
Run to
things.
Paradise.
But,
2 tickets to Paradise.
Yeah. But yeah, then we soon learned how YouTube works and that we can't do that. So,
Yeah.
But it's been good.
A question I think a lot of people who want to travel probably will ask is, what is something that you wish you knew when you started this travel digital nomad journey?
That I wish I knew.
Or maybe another way to phrase, what is something you would have done differently? I mean, if there's nothing, that's really cool too. So
probably would have stayed in Thailand. The visa was longer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I would have started this a lot earlier. Like, we sat for 2 months not doing anything before we started this YouTube channel, and also wish we would have got ahead a lot more before we did get on the road, like sit there and create 20 videos so that we can constantly post.
Mm-hmm.
As far as travel goes, like my worst regret is not traveling enough. That's it. Like, I've drank a lot of money up against the wall and like, wasted a lot of money. I wish I put that towards a different country, a different experience. And
definitely.
I'd much rather make memories than money. It's incredible just be able to travel. And the only thing I'd rather do is travel more.
Yeah. So true. So true. I think talking to you guys is awesome, man. I'm getting the travel bug a lot now. So
yeah.
LA's not too far. Come on down.
Yeah,
I know. I'm getting really tempted. I think everyone needs a break now. Maybe next year, maybe like January is my travel month. Just freaking go everywhere.
Make it a travel year.
Yeah, make a travel year. Might as well, man.
Yeah, do it.
Might as well. Because I don't think there's going to be too much going on in 2021 that's different than 2020. So yeah, might as well. Make yourself. I've healed my body, so hey, I can, if I fall, I'll be okay too, right? So even better. I can travel, take risks.
The biggest advice for anyone or yourself who is thinking of traveling next year is take out the destinations, like the big party destinations. Take out the places that require people to be there, like such as Koh San Road in Bangkok, which is a massive party spot. They're not going to be there anymore. Like the people, like at least for another 2 years, people aren't going to be traveling there. So don't even have that in your idea. Think more natural and places that you want to see. That doesn't matter if people are there or not. That's how I would travel. Yeah.
That's a really good piece of advice. Really kind of think local and don't think, okay, I want to go and like get shit-faced or whatever.
Yeah.
And they turn up and there's 3 people in the pub and there's no one else there.
Like, I will tell you, my mom's from a pretty small town in China. And when I mean small town, it's still over 1 million people. But in China, it's considered small, right? But I actually enjoy just hanging out in that small town. I don't need to have, that small town probably has at most 20 white people out of like 1 million. I never see white people in that town. In most Chinese cities, you'll see at least 1 or 2 white people, like every day, right? In like 3 months, I probably saw like 1 white person. But like sometimes it's cool to be in these like small towns. You like get to walk around, go to the malls, go to the parks, just like. So my advice for people is just like think small. Don't have an expectation like, oh, I'm going to go here and this is going to happen. Or I'm going to go here and this is going to happen. Just like you're traveling, right? That's the whole point. Like be spontaneous and not be spontaneous always, but be spontaneous with your expectations.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Everywhere has its own charm. You just got to find it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
A good way to think about it is there's a reason why people live anywhere, or whether it's a good reason or bad reason. Yeah. There's a reason why the towns are full of people. Yeah. They've got their own culture, their own way of life, and Just got to check it out.
Exactly.
I don't know how a million people in a town is small, though.
That's definitely not small.
Jake grew up in a town of how many people?
Yeah, 1,500 people in my town. So 1,500 is a small town to me. Well, actually, to me, like 300 would be a small. Sydney's only got 4 million people, and that's like the biggest one in Australia.
Yeah. It's really funny to compare population sizes. Like, your brethren, the Kiwis, the New Zealand. I mean, there's only like 1 million people in the whole country.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that, and then you're like, wow, there's more people living in LA than there are in New Zealand. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, how many people are in LA?
More than 1 million. But in the LA County, so including where I am, like on the beach, it's about 10 million. So that's definitely more than New Zealand.
What about back in China? What's like a big city in China?
I would say a big city is probably over 4 million people.
Yeah.
So there's like some cities that are like 30 million or 40 million people, right? So if you go to Mexico City, I think Mexico City probably has that number of people, but it's very
like
rare. There's no city in America with more than like, New York City itself, if you combine the 4 boroughs, probably only has like 8 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that big city in China that's 30 million. Australia as a whole country has 25 million.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So there are cities in China with more people than Australia.
Yeah, that's hectic.
Yeah. But I think that's what makes Australians so cool, because you guys have a country the size of America, but you guys have like way fewer people. So it's like you like treasure people more than here in America, right? Where it's like, oh.
Well, it was really crazy to me when we went to Paris and we jumped on a bus and we drove through Belgium into Amsterdam. We drove through 3 countries in 6 hours, and in Australia, you can't get to another state within 6 hours.
Yeah.
So it was so strange to me. Like, it was awesome, but it was a different experience.
Yeah. And I'm sure you'll probably experience some of that in Mexico. Like in between some of the cool sites, it might take 2 or 3 hours too.
Yeah.
Whereas I guess that's why so many people choose to backpack in Europe, because you literally you could just even if you're walking, like hiking, you could probably like get to another country in like a week or something like that.
Yeah. It's just so crazy. Just on a bus, just through countries, no problem. It's fine. Like, that was cool. We'll do Europe again one day.
Yeah, Europe would take a fair bit to do, I reckon.
Mm-hmm. So I think the best thing we should do is let's bring you guys back soon now. Let's bring you guys back in like a month or something. You guys can be like consistent guests. I really like reoccurring guests like this. So like when you guys are in a cool part of Mexico or something, I really like your idea. I didn't even think about it, but next time we could try to do something live too. I didn't even think about that, but we could do something live, or if you have something cool to share, let's bring you guys back.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I'd love to.
More than happy to.
This has been great.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome. And for viewers, I will of course link the Lockdown Travelers channel. And if you guys have anything, reach out to me too. So I'll probably reach back out to you guys in a month, but reach out to me whenever.
Yeah, of course.
It'd be pretty surprising if in a couple of months you're like, oh, mate, we're in LA. How about we do it together?
Yeah.
I probably would do it, man, because I think this is the year of change, and next year is definitely a year of change, and the next year is definitely a year of change. I think the 2020s is a big year of change. The change that Barack Obama wanted in 2008, I think happens this decade.
Starting now.
You never know, a month from now, after you watch a few of our videos, you might come on down to Mexico to join us.
Yeah.
We'll do one of these sitting in the pub.
Yeah, and viewers, I think if any of you meet these guys, take pictures, man. And
please.
Funny.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, this is a final question that I think it occurred in the back of my mind, and then I forgot about it because you two look so friendly and you two look cool. But do you ever worry about safety?
Yes and no.
I spent 6 years in the army as a reconnaissance scout, so
I think he worries more about me than himself.
Yeah, it's a bit more on her.
Yeah, we were in this one hotel that we were in Mexico City, and it wasn't the best area. So he wouldn't let me leave to go down to the shop to get whatever we were getting or anything. I kind of had to just sit in the room because he's like, nope, you'll get stolen, and I'm like, okay.
You just got to be aware, there's rough spots everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Even in Sydney, Australia, there's places I wouldn't let her go down the street.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. Like, I'm not any more worried than I would be back home.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you just got to be smart no matter where you are.
I've got pretty good situational awareness, and I'm good at working that problem out before it happens.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, let's go over here then.
Yeah.
I think situational awareness, right? Because my channel, Fight Commentary Breakdowns, we talk about self-defense stuff too. So that's always the word, situational awareness. And I think traveling really requires a little bit of that, right? Do a little bit of research beforehand, know what areas are kind of sketchy. But also, if you do end up in sketchy areas, just, be careful, right? If something looks odd, it's probably odd. Trust your gut.
Yeah, read the people, see what's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
You just be smart.
Don't let safety concerns prevent you from traveling. I think that's the good lesson to this.
No.
Absolutely.
No, definitely
The
not.
biggest fear is Corona, and we've we've circled the world, and we haven't got it yet. So don't let that stop you either.
Nah,
Exactly.
go for
Uh,
So, guys, if you want to travel, go travel. And Jerry wants to go travel, so he's going to go travel. So he's going to
Come to Mexico.
I know. I'm tempted, man. I mean, my neighbor is actually the kid that got a little hurt today, but he's actually the one going to Mexico. So I'll probably go visit him, and then we might just meet up, man. This is going to be really cool.
Yeah, come down.
We'll send you the paperwork to become an honorary lockdown traveler.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Good place to end this. I will link everything, their Facebook, their Twitter, their Instagram, everything in the description and pinned comments. So, guys, go follow Lockdown Travelers. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Jerry.
Cheers,
It's so
Jerry.
good to meet you.